Alrighty.
You're live. Good luck.
Alrighty, and here we go. Welcome everyone to Secret of the Silver Blades, the third game in the Gold Box series. This is some old school first edition D&D we are dealing with now here. So what we have is, just want to show off a few things about. This game allows you to modify your stats. The purpose is so you can make your D&D characters, you know, your favorite ones from your tabletop playing. And I know all of my favorite D&D characters that I had when I played growing up all had all 18s. Of course, having max stats makes the speedrun go faster, so why bother rolling when you can do that? I have a ranger for killing giants and for getting me surprises. It's a 50% chance of any battle, all my characters going first, which is pretty convenient. I have one cleric to keep myself healed. I have a fighter, magic user, thief, because I only need a little bit of magic, someone who can use magic items, and someone who can disarm like 4 traps in the game, which is more than there is in the entirety of the first 2 Gold Box speedruns. And so, the music we have here, once again, thanks to High Spirits for finding me the soundtrack for this game, which is not present in a normal system. It's only an obscure port that they actually put a soundtrack in, but it's not going to really go in background because I can just play it, but at least you don't have to listen to mostly silence and a few beep boops for several hours. Yep. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now this is actually the third game of 4, in fact. Secret of the Silver Blades takes place after Curse of the Azure Bonds and Pool of Radiance. We've defeated Tyrant Thraxus, we're getting bored of adventures, and suddenly we've been wished to the town of New Verdigris. And the mayor tells us that they gave treasure to a magic well to wish for us, but because it's a magic wish, we didn't come with any equipment. So they give us a little bit of equipment, which we'll quickly grab for a couple of our characters, and we need to go out and get some more equipment first. Now, the city is an old mining town that they just recently started getting back, and they just recently returned to it. In ancient times, it was very, I want to drop that. In ancient times, it was a very prosperous mining town, but then a disaster happened. They've come here to New Verdigris, and they're starting to well, I've been bored because we haven't had any adventures, rather. I apologize if I made that. So, we, back in here again, okay. I always get turned around. I think I'm at the inner door, and I'm always at the outer door instead. So, but first thing we need to do is alter our speed to be faster. We need to alter the level to novice. This halves the hit points of the enemies and makes everything go faster. Otherwise, doesn't actually make it any harder, but having half hit point enemies makes you kill things a lot quicker. Memorize up some spells. Charm monster, because I don't really have anything else at the moment. And spells for her. No, actually I want 3 dispels to start with. Forget that. Curse's wounds to heal things. Here. Alright. And just for a couple of fights, having a detect magic is... Okay, time to get some more free stuff. There's the magic transporters to the well. It's a very efficient means of travel in this game. Once you visit a teleporter, you can take it back to the well, and this gets you moving around the entire area really fast. Now we come out here, and the well is being fought over by these Priests of Bane and the Dark Circle, Black Circle mages, and they're fighting each other. Wow, the clerics won. That's unusual and not really that good. And they got to go first. Very awesome. Let's get some old persons. Oh, we haven't equipped any of our equipment either. Sometimes I forget to do that too. Not a big deal though. These guys are not generally dangerous. You don't have anything. Paralyzation in this game from hold person, stinking clouds, going to sleep. If you're rendered helpless, you get one shot by anything, which is incredibly powerful and much more punishing than pretty much any other computer RPG out there. But unfortunately, they all made their saving throws, but that's okay. The battle's over. We took some damage, but nothing serious. Now we get some extra good loot that we can get. We'll just go ahead and put it on Glory Hound for now, though we'll want to give it to other people later. Glorious gets those. More wands and necklaces for Glory Seeker, and that is all we really care about. Oh, actually, we have an extra plate mail and mace. Maybe we'll go ahead and take that for now. Mace we don't need, though. Okay. Yes, you can dual wield wands. Only use one a turn, but... Alright, now, we head back into town. Now that we've met the Black Circle, we know that Marcus, who is a Black Circle mage selling magic items here, is actually a spy for the Black Circle. They're trying to unleash the final boss. We'll learn more about that later. You can sleep anywhere in town in this game, by the way, which is really nice. So I can actually just fix up right here before saving. We're going to cast our spells before this fight, because it's moderately tough, and it just makes it go a bit quicker. We don't want trinkets. We want to stay here. We don't leave, so we fight these guards. We one-shot one. That's fantastic. Go ahead and try more hold persons to make this go a bit quicker. These guys are high-level fighters in magical armor, which we are going to liberate from them. One hold, that's better than nothing. No charms, though. Too bad. With the haste spell, it doubles our damage, essentially, which is pretty nice. Oh, wait. Yes, that could be a run killer if I decide to run away at this point. Okay, Quester needs a longsword and shield. Questling needs the plate longsword shield. How's it? You need a longsword and shield, and that's all we need for now. These are +2 longswords, +1 plate mail and shield. Very nice stuff. Let's see, that's all we need for now. I should have grabbed another +2 longsword, but I'll get more later on. Let's go ahead and cast us another haste spell. So we can, so we come in here, we get blasted by a fire trap that Marcus laid down, a symbol of fire. He runs away after taunting us. Now the problem is that the Black Circle is trying to free the boss, who we'll learn more about later. And the but the townspeople don't know that. So Marcus is a spy, and as we begin to interfere with the Black Circle, he'll start sending assassins after us. We're not supposed to come in here and deal with him until much later in the game, but as soon as you meet the Black Circle, it lets you. Two-handed sword, longsword. That might be a good longsword. We'll take it just in case. Rings? Oh, sling and two-handed sword probably aren't going to be any good, though. Should have saved it before this fight, but oh well. You can get poisoned by these assassins in one shot, because that's what poison does. It's super awesome. Since that has happened to me, so I should remember to save a little bit more often, but I don't have to redo too much even if something happens, so... Dying is very bad because you lose a permanent point of constitution. But that fight went very well. That would be my first split. Marcus defenestrated. So now that he's been kicked out, the townspeople have taken over the shop, which is very convenient for us. Longsword +2, awesome. Just identify all these so that I can... You don't need money for anything in this game, really, except buying magic arrows and maybe wands of magic missiles. Multiple rings of protection +1. Nice. Well, whatever. Okay, now he has some weapons, a little bit of armor. He's pretty weak, but he's going to be mostly in the back. We're going to buy him a wand of magic missiles. Going to buy Glory Hound some more magic arrows, as well as extra here, so that we can give them to him. Oh, that's bad. Supposed to buy that. He doesn't have a bow yet, but he'll get one soon, so it's not a bit a worry. Yet there are all sorts of these games. Most of them take place in the Forgotten Realms. There are 4 for this series. There are also 2 more in the Savage Frontier, part of the Faerun setting, Forgotten Realms, but there are the Dragonlance games. There's also a Unlimited Adventures that lets you create your own, which is pretty darn fun and interesting. This is a very obtuse game if you don't have guides and such. Now that we have killed Marcus, we need to rest up, get our spells back. We also need to go train, actually. And actually, before I rest, I ought to see if there's any levels I can gain. I think there's a couple. Luckily, you don't have to pay money to train like you did in the previous 2 games. Ranger levels up, Cleric levels up, and yes, a level 6 Fighter and Thief. And actually, he's ready to level up immediately, too. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, now we can memorize our spells. We can't get any more magic user spells yet, but... Fixed command lets us rest until and cast healing spells until we're all healed, which is very nice for speeding around. Much better than Pool of Radiance, where you have to rest for days to heal up or manually cast Cure Light Wound spells very slowly. Okay, now the well that they used to summon us has been taken over by an evil red dragon, so we're going to get revenge on the dragon from the previous run for doing all those things to us, and his little dragon babies as well. Yes. That'll get 4 of them. And now we fight slightly bigger dragons. There are random encounters in the well, but you usually don't get any during this course, and only when you only have a few random encounters before they. You only have random encounters until you liberate the well. Once you liberate the well from the evil red dragon, its power will prevent any monsters from being able to attack you. So it's a perfect resting point as well as a wonderful. Just waypoint between various locations. So here's the dragon. I'm an evil red dragon, Hith. Tremendous Wyrm attacks. There are lots of dragons in this game, lots of giants. This is a pretty high-level game. It's one of my favorites in the series, along with Curse of the Azure Bonds, because of the fact that you have such insane power. Now we finally get a bow for Glory Hound. Very good bow. The potion I think is good. I can't remember. Bracers are better. I need to be looking at my item notes. So now the well tells us things. The well is magic and can tell us the answer to riddles, where you go next. So if you're lost in this game, what you can do is talk to the well, and it will, for a donation of gems, it will tell you where you need to go next, or some such things. Of course, since this is a speedrun, I don't need to bother doing any of that. So now that we are totally safe, we can go back to town. We need to go get a magic item now that is very obtuse and needed for collecting 3 other magic items in the game. There are all sorts of hidden MacGuffins that aren't actually in your inventory or anything. So if you forget that you have them, you have no idea if you don't remember that you've done it. Especially if you stop playing the game for a while. Okay, he's already a max level fighter, which is nice. But he didn't gain a magic user level yet, which is bad. I'll get more later. He should get up. I'm not this here. Okay, so we need to memorize our spells again. Now we're going to be relying on quick combat going forward. Now there are lots of... Oh, almost missed the door. Now these are the ruins of the old town. And over the course of the game, we find out that there were 2 brothers who founded this town, and they were great adventurers, a paladin and a mage. But when they started getting old, the mage began to fear for his life and growing old, and he started to investigate immortality. And so he turned himself into a lich, despite the pleadings of his brother. And so then he, of course, because he became an evil lich, he started trying to conquer the Forgotten Realms as well. And so there was a big war between his forces of the Black Circle and the Silver Blades that the Paladin formed. And eventually the Silver Blades were able to seal the lich in a glacier in their castle that they built. And now, hundreds of years later, the glacier is starting to melt. The Black Circle remnants have... Okay, I am slightly lost. Did I make it that far already? Ah, yes. Okay. This is a very large map, and finding your way on it is very, very difficult. More monsters attack. So the Black Circle's trying to revive their master, and so we have to find the last couple remnants of the Silver Blades and help them to defeat the Lich once and for all. And there's a lot of MacGuffins that we have to gather in order to do that. You know, just random items. And again, this thing just has interfaced flags in the game. It doesn't actually tell you that you have them. So if you forget that you have them or you collect them, you'll never know. This is a passageway where rocks can fall on us and do damage, like that. Very annoying. Too far. In. Yep. A red dragon with. That's one of the... Oh, 3 red dragons. That's one of the worst fights. Luckily, they aren't close enough to breathe at us. Abilities like Dragon Breath, they have to be in range to really want to use them. I'm just going to use magic missiles. I'll leave them up real quick here. Here's a breath. Luckily, their lower hit points means the Dragon Breath isn't as devastating as it would be, and my word, this is a really bad fight. I am missing so much, this is crazy. Okay. It is very low. They should be 44, although first edition dragons are actually extremely low hit points compared to later editions of D&D. But because I have it on the lowest difficulty setting, everything has half hit points, so even the ancient red dragons only have 44. All done. Okay, so this is good stuff. Longsword, I don't need that actually. Cloak is good. Ring will go to Glorious for various reasons. It's a ring of invisibility. Makes her invisible at the start of each turn if she hasn't attacked yet. And we find an amulet. And that's all you learn about this. This amulet of Eldramar is necessary to find 3 other MacGuffins that are necessary to end the game. There's also a convenient teleporter that lets us go back to the well instantly, which lets us return home, where we can once again train up really quick. Okay, nope, can't train yet. It's okay. I need to go in and make better notes of where exactly I gained enough experience to level, but I just don't know. Definitely need to fix up, though. I need to identify the potion, too, sometime. Okay, back to the well. Well is a very convenient place to reach several areas in the ruins as well. First, we need to go deal with the Black Circle, or they will continue bothering us. So, we head to their headquarters. Once again, ruins, so we'll fight some fights that generally are not very problematic, so I don't bother with saving and reloading as I often do in some of the earlier games. There is one point where I'll have to be saving and reloading because of encounters, but that isn't until the very end of the game, and it's only, thank goodness, one section. Emerald Glory Seeker is really getting fertilized in these battles. Yep, no Dragonlance in this game. In the speedrun of in the game of Champions of Krynn, you get to grab the Dragonlance and then multiply it. You're going to see some wonderful shenanigans with items in a little while. Ah, yeah, here I am. I might actually need to cast some healing spells on, jeez, Glory Seeker. That is almost the last time we're going to have to deal with these, I believe. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cast one of my haste spells. Not my Blessed Prayer, though. We need to kill mages before they get a chance to cast, so if you damage an enemy before they get their turn in a round, they will not be able to cast a spell, or if they're casting a long spell and you damage them while they're casting it. Because some spells take so long, you begin them in the turn, and then later on in the turn they will decide to finish. Because of a weird segment system that 1st edition D&D had that doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright, now we want to use Necklace of Missiles. This actually throws a fireball. If you watched my Curse of the Azure Bonds run, you know the power of Necklace of Missiles. Not quite as useful in this game because of so many enemies immune to fire and our characters being powerful enough to obliterate in melee. But it's useful for one character to have it, especially for dealing with quickly. We still have the haste spell on, which I thought we would, which is very convenient. Gives us a lot of attacks. Haste is one of the most powerful spells in the game, especially for a 3rd level spell, because it doubles the number of movement tiles and number of attacks with weapons that you have. Use of magic items is not affected, but when you attack 3 to 4 times a round, you wipe out a lot of enemies very quickly. It will have faded by now, so we need to cast haste again. Now we're going to cast our Blessed Prayer before taking on the guard captain, commander of the guards. Two mages to deal with. Arrows will deal with them swiftly. Excellent. Yeah, especially since it affects the entire party. This is 1st edition D&D, with all the wonderful rules. It does use Thaco, which actually came from Orthaco, or Thaco, or however you pronounce it, but that was introduced in 2nd edition, but they went ahead and used it for this, even though they used 1st edition rules for the entirety of the Gold Box series. It just makes it a little bit easier to tell how to hit the enemies, if you understand Thaco, which those of us who played 1st edition or 2nd edition D&D do. If you don't, then they might have had some magic items, but nothing really worth it. So we find a key, we get a portal to the well, which handy dandy allows us to fix up and memorize our spells before continuing on our adventure. Or I could just turn and walk into a wall and it would do the same thing, but I sometimes forget that. Alright, now with this magic key we found, we can find this secret door and go through the secret door. There are no random encounters in here, interestingly, but there are a lot of set encounters we have to battle through. This is the, that was the Clerk of Flan who gave you all the missions in Pool of Radiance. We dispel it? Alright, dispelled it. Good. So we don't take damage from the Flame Sphere. Mage runs away. Alright, we deal with the clerk and send her off. She's a subplot in the game that we're not going to deal with because it's very slow and doesn't really give us anything appreciable. Okay. I need to get a bit closer for it, though. Just going to hold close to if I can. Okay, excellent. That one is held, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. And I can one-shot him as soon as I get a chance. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and finish him off. Yes, changing armor class to a positive value instead of a negative one in 3rd edition D&D was one of the best things they did to the system. It's really convoluted. Still have some nostalgia for it, honestly, just from playing with it so much. But it is a whole lot easier in later systems to know that, in general, you need to roll with your bonuses their armor class to hit them. Oh, why did I run forward with my bowman? But haste is especially amazing in this level because of just having... Any other game, just think of doubling the amount of damage you do in melee from a simple spell from the entire party, and it's only 3rd level, so that is just how good that is. If you could have that kind of spell in any of the Final Fantasies, it would probably be worth getting in almost any speedrun. Think of all the time they spend in Final Fantasy V just using chemist mixes and dragon power to increase their levels enough to do extra damage with Guild Toss. Pretty straight shot here. Oh, that missed. That is not good. If these mages get off spells, they can do a lot of damage and do really horrible things to us, so we really want to damage as many as we can. Okay, that'll do. Yeah, fast in Final Fantasy 1, but haste affects the entire party. Fast does not. But that is what it was based on, actually, because the original Final Fantasy was very heavily influenced by the old D&D editions. You're taking a lot of hits. Good thing we have a lot of hit points. I'm gonna try a hold person here. Saving throws are so good at this level, so unfortunately hold person is usually not nearly as good as it is in the previous couple of games. Alright, they surrendered, which is convenient, removes them from the battle, gives us the experience and money for them. We find a bunch of scrolls we don't need, that the game goes through too fast for us to even notice. We hold our ground and know that these are illusions, attack a single mage. Quester must have ordinary plate mail on. That's why he's going so slow. That's odd. When did he get that? I'll need to get some more magical plate mail. Not a huge deal. I get all the magical armor I need later on. Okay, there we go. That fight's over. about 2 more big fights against the black circle, I think, including right here. Now he has plate mail +1. Why is he only a -3 armor class? It must be non-working magical plate mail +1. Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's actually where I want to put it. Ouch. Lightning Bolt did a decent chunk of damage. He gets his revenge. Should be the last guard fight. This is after Curse of the Azure Bonds. We start with Pool of Radiance and we defeat Tyranthraxus in the city of Flan, and then in Curse of the Azure Bonds, Tyranthraxus joins with a bunch of other villains to get revenge against us. And then in... This is insane. So many misses on the mages who should not be missed. I wish I had a Wand of Lightning right now. Took damage already. Oh. He did hold monsters, and luckily it failed. Okay, there we go. Whew. That could have been dangerous. Mostly just time losing, not anything else. But if our characters get held and get knocked out, then we have to wake them up and heal them. But after we've grown bored because we've run out of adventures, and then we get summoned, and that's how this game starts. So we get a new adventure dropped in our lap, just like we wanted. And all our stuff stolen, because that's how they begin. Okay, run out of my magic missiles, which is fine. Mostly I buy the Wand of Magic Missiles just so I'm not overloaded with money. And picking up all the money you get in the first couple of fights is weighs you down too much, but it is faster than picking through the items without getting the money. Okay, here we are. Now we have 2 more fights. Quester has taken a lot of damage, so let's go ahead and get him healed up with some heal spells, which can do a lot, but can do very little. Fight some more wonderful little hatchlings here. We have to fight them in each square we march in this room. So that's 2 battles. Do not wander around this room, or you'll just keep getting these stupid hatchling fights. Time to kill it with ice. Believe it or not, I could kill it with fire. Red dragons in 1st edition D&D are not immune to fire. But there are a lot of monsters that aren't. Frost giants and fire giants are immune to their respective elements, but dragons, for some reason, are not. Dragons are really underpowered compared to how they are in later editions of D&D. Come on. Even baby dragons have a -1 armor class, which is really, really low. They don't get any better armor class when they age, just hit points and more damage. Alright, now it's time to cast our favorite spells. Bless, Prayer, and Haste. Keep our party raring to go. Attack the black circle. Now it's time to wipe out some mages real fast. Yes, very mediocre Dragon's 5th edition. Now, they can kill you because their breath weapon does damage equal to their hit points. If I didn't have Novice on, that's the one place where the game is a lot easier damage-wise is with dragons, because the Ancient Dragon could do 88 points of damage to your entire party with a carefully placed breath weapon and no saves. And that's pretty devastating. But only 88 hit points goes down really fast when your fighters can do 20 to 30 points of damage around, especially with a haste spell. Now I can get some magic plate mail from these guys as well. It has ridiculously bad armor for some reason. Equal to their max hit points, not their current. So even if you damage them, they will still do... Even if you reduce the red dragon to 1 hit point, but you don't kill him, he'll still breathe out 88,000 points of damage. Now, we have some very important items here. We have a girdle. We have better bracers, and I believe the wand is good. Yes, this is my wand of lightning. That's the only thing that normally would be good, but Quester really, really needs better plate mail. Don't you? Still only a -3, though. Very odd. I don't have detect magic now, so I can't tell if there's another one. Try one of the top ones instead. Whoops, wrong person. There we go. Yeah, this plate mail +1 is broken. Sometimes there are items like that in these games. They're very rare, but there are a few items that don't seem to work as intended. And sometimes weird things can happen. And now we find a portal, so we've dealt with the black circle, so there will not be black circle guards. Now, some of the fights I could have done may have theoretically been faster than having to clear that entire thing, but I also got a very, very, very good... Whoops, going the wrong way. Magic item. So now we take our portal back home. Need to go do some training. 8th level magic user. Now I can get a slightly better 4th level spell of Ice Storm. Alright, going to get some more magic arrows as well for giving to characters later. Okay, potion, speed, don't really need that. Yep. This is a very old school PC game. Came out in 1990. And this is the 3rd of the series as well. There's one released in 88 and another released in 89. And one that was released shortly after that. Okay, now I have Lightning, Ice Storm, Necklace of Missiles. Not weighed down too much by money, which is good. Time to sleep in the streets again because they're nice and they let us. And there is no... actually, I only used 1 haste this time, so I actually have another 3rd level spell, so I can use a fireball and still keep my 2 hastes. Okay, blast. Whole person is still the most useful, though it isn't much. There are, I think, almost a dozen of these games in total made. 3 Kryn series, 4 in this series, 2 in the Savage Frontier of the Forgotten Realms, Unlimited Adventures, the original Neverwinter Nights. Okay, back to the well again, and now it's time to enter the mines. And in the mines, we will make our way to the Temple of Tyr. Need to save the game here because this is a fight that can go very badly. I'm going to go ahead and cast one of my hastes because I'll get a chance to rest. Bay Knights approach. Bay Knights are clerics who can cast Hold Person, and of course, even though they constantly resist my Hold Persons, you can bet that I will fail, and they will paralyze me and cause me to be instantly killed. Okay, damage that one. Damage that one, so no clerics can cast. I think I'd better go ahead and equip my weapons on him too, so we can do a bit of fighting. Even the fighter magic user can dominate people with haste. He is a 7th level fighter, so he gets 3 attacks every 2 rounds. So his first round, he gets 1 attack. When he's hasted, he gets 3 attacks per round. Alright, now that that fight is dealt with, we come this way. I actually should not be quick combating him because he still has this necklace on him already. Now he's in a very bad position too. Oh well, I guess I'll use this necklace of missiles so I can clear this out fast. Yeah. I've done speedruns for Pool of Radiance at last year's Questing for Glory. I did Curse of the Azure Bonds at RPG Limit Break. Now I get to show off the 3rd one in a pretty major RPG marathon, which is pretty nice. Pools of Darkness I haven't really touched yet. I've explored a little bit, but I haven't completed a run, and honestly, that is such a horrendously huge game. The first time I finish a run will be the first time I complete the game. It is one that I was always a little too young to be able to make it through. Now we descend the mine shaft, reach the temple level. There are some guards. Good old displacer beasts and minotaurs, classic enemies. There's lots of interesting enemies that you fight in this one as well. Let's see. I'm actually going to cast my fireball spell. Reasonable fireball. Not a lot of damage. Now, because I have an Elven Fighter Magic User Thief, my maximum Magic User level will only reach level 11, which means I won't get access to 6th level spells. But that's okay, because Haste is the only spell I absolutely need in this game anyway, and I just need a Thief more for a couple of things, and it's better to have the Thief mixed in with other useful stuff. Okay, now, I've entered this is an old Temple of Tyr, which is still protected by the power of Tyr, because one of the Silver Blades is left alive, and the dwarf is, Durin is, I can't remember the dwarf's name, I never can. A couple of magic shields to take here, and some magic potions. Bracers are not anything, though. You go ahead and take the potions, because he's muffling down the hall, and he gives us the Ring of Tyr, another MacGuffin we need to find the parts of the Staff of Oswulf, which we need to enter into the castle to defeat it. Trying to doesn't do any good. Old Dwarf gives us the ring, shoos us out, so sends us to investigate. We're going to go ahead and use our portal, get this set up so we can easily go back to town again from the mine. We can rest in the well, or even in the temple. Those are all safe places to rest. Checking training again really fast. Okay, nobody can train. Alright. Memorize our spells. Haste Fireball. We have nothing to memorize. What's up? Let's see. Music has indeed stopped. Why did that pause? Interesting. Oh well, doesn't matter. Now I have to load up all my screens again. No. Alright. Gonna need the mines. Okay. After several amounts of speedruns on the previous games, I was pretty much able to memorize them and where I need to go, but Secret of Silver Blades is a much bigger game, so not quite as efficient as memorizing everything, so I need to use my maps. Yep. Certain versions, I did not know that there was any version of this game that has a soundtrack, but iSpirits found the actual soundtrack for me on YouTube, so I can play it, but this version of the game itself, no, has no music except for intro music. It's pretty awful. Okay, now on each of the first 7 levels of the mines, or the first 8 levels of the mines, are the 8 pieces of the staff. So we have to visit each one. We can get encounters here, but it actually lets us just run away from the encounters easily, which is pretty convenient, except for a few set encounters with Umber Hulks. There we flee from the enemies, take a step back, and suddenly they're gone. How magical. We take a step backwards, and the enemy disappears. It's quite incredible. Except for these enemies. Umber Hulks are pretty bad. It is, in fact, it's a SteelSeries keyboard 500. Let's see. Missiles doesn't have much range. B. And yes, it is actually first edition D&D, with Thaco, which comes from second edition. But most of the rules are first edition. If you look up the monster stats in the first edition monster manual, that's what they have in this game. Yep. Now, each of the, only a few of these hordes are actually guarded. Now we get our second composite longbow. Let's see. The longsword, plate mail, and shield are all +3, which is nice. The ring is fire resistance, I think. Yes. Which is good for anyone, but I go ahead and put it on the front character. Alright, I can drop the +1 shields. Alright, now I need to get him some arrows. So now he can actually contribute just some basic damage from the back. Not as much. He'll still be using mostly items, but it's a bit of supplemental damage he can give without getting him into dangerous territory. He's pretty good in melee, really, especially when hasted, but he's a little bit fragile. Because his hit points are split between 3 classes, 2 of them the lowest class in the game, the hit point classes in the game, Thief and Magic User. Coming up is one of the reasons I actually need a Thief. 2 of the reasons, in fact. Yep, keyboard turner. The entire game is run on keyboard. You can actually see the little cursor, but it is a lot slower than the... I fall through a trapdoor in the floor. That is very unusual. The Thief is supposed to prevent that from happening, but somehow I got unlucky. That has actually never happened before. Welcome to your marathon speedrun sayings. And with that kind of luck, I'm definitely going to need to save the game before the next section, because there's another trap he has to disarm, and if he fails, I lose a valuable magic item. Now, the Umber Hulks have a nasty Confuse attack that they can use at the start of their turn. However, they can only use it if they begin the turn in melee with an enemy. Oh, Gloryhound needs to put his bow back on, too. I forgot about that. Oh, it's going to get better. You're going to see some really insane armor classes on the entire party before we're done. I forgot to save. Please disarm the trap. Of course not. Okay, well, that's a bit of a setback, but oh well. I should have saved it beforehand, but oh well, at least we don't have to reload the game, since I forgot to save it. There's a wand of fireballs, which is extremely valuable for killing a lot of enemies very quickly. It's one of only a couple places in the game you can get one, but if I had a pure thief, I would have a much better chance of disarming all of these traps and detecting them, but pure thieves are pretty much useless in first edition D&D except for dealing with traps, and I'd much rather have somebody who can do a lot of magic damage and such things. I do need to save before this battle though, because I can be poisoned by Wyvern, and considering how RNG has been recently, I am almost certain to die. For some reason, Wyverns move extremely slow in this game. Yep, because you can combine Bracers of Armor class with Rings of Protection, you can get some really crazy armor classes on your mages. At the end of Curse of the Azure Bonds, most of your characters will be at -7 armor class. At the end of this game, we're going to get below -10. I'm just going to say that. Alright, now, any good treasure here? Oh, a mace +4 for my cleric is very important. And that's all that's really here, though. Luckily, I didn't get poisoned and die. Alright, 4th level. Let's see, now I need to go south. South, actually. Alright, and this ring is Ring of Protection +3, so here's some more armor class for our Glory Seeker. I didn't have the Ring of Protection +1 equipped. That's crazy. Alright. Yep, good old Cloak of Displacement is a valuable magic item that is going to suddenly start multiplying here in a little bit. Oh, 5 minus 5 is here. Need to go north again. There's all sorts of other places you can visit in these mines, but they are entirely optional. We of course don't want to waste time with them because it's a speedrun and we get all of the good equipment just following the main story route. Here's the set Umber Hulk fight. Now you can get Umber Hulk random encounters as well, which is very annoying because they will they are also unrunnable. They're treated like normal encounters, but they just happen randomly. There are several set battles that mean here. Littered with storage boxes. Let's see. Nothing good here. But we get our piece of the Staff of Oswulf. Interestingly, except for the ruins, which the fights are unrunnable, the difficulty of running away from encounters increases as you progress through the game. Here in the mines, we can run freely. When we get to the next area where there's a lot of random encounters, they will follow us when we run away, and it's kind of very strange. A mechanic I've never seen in any other game. You can basically just keep running away from them even though you're moving forward, but it's a step at a time and pretty slow. But then finally in the eastern crevices, we are not going to get to run away from battles, and so I may be reloading once we get to there. I am going to give a chance to go ahead and perk up Glory Seeker a little bit. Alright, now we find a tribe of lizard men living down here, and they are worshipping our waifu Vala as a goddess. And I should have said because I can get killed by these guys, but oh well. Giant snakes do have a poisonous bite. They're not likely to be able to hit us with it, but there is always that 1 in 100 chance that will definitely happen in a marathon. I have not memorized these mines yet. I have a guide that I'm sitting at looking. I have the 3rd level memorized because it is actually a copy of level 2 in the guide, so it doesn't work. These aren't too bad if you're just looking for the... I can eventually, I think, memorize them if I'm just looking for the way to reach my destination on each level. It kind of depends, though, how many turns there are. Flee from the monsters. But another Lizardman patrol. I don't have a necklace of missiles anymore either. Well, I have a wand of ice storm, which will have to do the job. Yeah, cure spells in this game are extremely random in their amount they heal, except for the heal spell. So they can be really, really low and not do much. Critical can do 13, that's about the minimum. It can do like up to 30, but you rarely see that. I shouldn't have wasted an ice storm. Oh well. Now that I've started to use it, if anything happens, I will safety save here, since it's easy. This is my favorite, because they're backed up against what the game considers a wall, so most of the enemies that probably should be here are not. They just get deleted because they'd be off the map. One more fight against Lizardmen guards. Yep, and I'm really missing that wand of fireballs now that my stupid thief could not properly disarm on the trap. I'm going to get another necklace of missiles right here, though, so... I do have wands of lightning bolts that are pretty handy as well. Not quite as useful, but there are certain areas where the lightning bolts work quite well. Oh god, 1 hit point left. Oh well. Lizardmen throwing javelins at us, very impressive. Lizardmen are pretty low-level monsters. You fight them quite a lot in the first game, Pool of Radiance. It's crazy that you have to deal with them here as actual enemies of significance. But Vala is the other last remaining member of the Silver Blades. She got sealed inside this magic box here. I'm going to go ahead and cast Prayer, Bless, and Haste. Save the game just in case. There's no use talking to these lizard men, it just wastes time, so we're just going to blow them all up. This looks like a good place to use a wand of lightning to start with. Whoops, he got in the way. Lizardman Chieftain is immune to lightning for some reason. I think he's got some sort of glowing vulnerability or something. Need to remember to grab his item too. I sometimes forget it, but I really need the necklace of missiles right now since I don't have a wand of fireball. This is actually my first time listening to the soundtrack too. High Spirits told me about it last night so I could get it set up for my run. It's actually pretty banging, especially compared to the Pool of Radiance one. Alright, Glory Seeker, take that necklace. The rest of the stuff we don't care about. And the Ring of Tyr blows up the box, and here's our waifu Vala. We're going to let her join because she's a high-level fighter, and even though she's a female, and AD&D First Edition was sexist and racist, so human females can only reach 1850 strength maximum, which she has, but that's okay because she's actually, a magic item is going to enable her to reach our heights pretty quickly here. We're just going to go grab one more item, and then it's going to time to start some shenanigans. Not quite as awesome as the shenanigans in... two more items, actually, I think. Not quite as nasty, as great as the shenanigans in in Curse of the Azure Bonds, where I just get infinite Dust of Disappearance to party with. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Good thing I went before I ran into Umberhulks. I'm thoroughly... Okay, I've got myself thoroughly lost, but now I am unlost, I swear. Umberhulks! Good to know I'm not lost. In first edition D&D, yes, as well as races as well. Because Glory Seeker is a fighter magic user, because he's an elf, rather, he can only get up to 1875 strength. Non-human races are weaker, and males are weaker. And Vava can't do anything here because I've got to do anything, but that's okay. Yep. The wonderful thing about this is if you download these games from GOG.com, they come with the PDFs of the clue books, which give you all the maps, except for some that are messed up, like the third level of the mines. And so that makes going through these a whole lot easier. Okay, search the body. We get a Ring of Wizardry we don't need. 2 wands. Glory Seeker needs them, although it doesn't matter too much. I think the first wand is the bad one. Potions are extra healing, which is very useful. I need those right now. Glorious. Bracers aren't anything, though. And now we're suddenly attacked by Umberhulks. Vala is a high enough level fighter that she gets 2 attacks per round, though, which really increases her damage above the fact of her strength. And just a couple of the other things about her being high level means she has a really good chance to hit. Yeah, what's happened is they accidentally copied mine level 2 for mine level 1, so... Not very good lightning bolt, that. You can find all of these old games. You can find the Dragonlance ones as well. Highly recommended as well. All of these are so good. And all available for pretty cheap on GOG.com with enhancements. They factor it into DOSBox, so it's at a playable speed instantly for your system. You don't have to mess with any of the settings yourself if you don't want to. Very, very, very good at making these old games convenient to play. Now we need the 8th level. And before we do anything else, you're going to drink up these potions. Get up to 73 hit points. Potions are not really necessary, but they're good for moments like this where I'm getting a lot of damage, especially since I'm going to be sustaining even more. Need to go south this time. More Umberhulks. Lots of Umberhulks this time, too. All right, now... Now we find some of our very, very beloved items. Equipment. Let's see. We definitely want another cloak. You can guess what kind of cloak it is. You want the longsword as well. And you go ahead and take the banded mail. So that I have it handy. Don't need to worry about all of the armor being piled on one person, because that's going to change pretty darn soon here. Now, there's one other thing I have to do on this level, because the black circle has set up a some sort of force field generator on the last level. Don't ask me where they got a force field generator, but it prevents anyone from reaching the last 2 levels of the mines. So, that's a random encounter, Umber Hulks. We're not supposed to be fighting them. Very inconvenient. I need to move Ball up to the front. I keep forgetting that. Good place for a nice storm. Oh man, I forgot one of my important magic items. I was supposed to pick up the Boots of Speed on... I didn't need to grab that treasure either. I'm a bit lamenting now. I was supposed to get Boots of Speed from one of the levels of the rings, and now once you've left an area that has treasure, you can't go back and get it again, which is unfortunate. They're not super important, but they make some of these fights go a little bit quicker because my characters can rush around a lot. And Boots of Speed, which double your movement speed, do stack with haste. So my characters would be running around in some of the final battles at a 48 movement speed, 48 squares a turn, which basically lets them go everywhere. Actually, I've had good luck with Umber Hulks not getting off gazes today. That's pretty nice. Gazes can cause problems. Okay, I'm going to save the game just in case, and let's see. Let's actually alter order. Put Vala up at the top. Let's get some more healing done. Glory Seeker. 6 points from a serious wounds. 8 points from a serious wounds. I can do the same with Cure Light Wounds. Now, the only way for us to get to the 8th level is to enter this malfunctioning teleporter that does a lot of damage to us by throwing us against a wall. So, yeah, you can see the points are down to. And then we get immediately attacked by a huge group of Umber Hulks. So that's why we needed to get healed up. The only fortunate thing about the Umber Hulks and their gazes is they can only use it if they start the battle in melee. So if I run into melee and kill them at the start of their next turn, they have to move forward to get to me. They don't get to use their gaze. Hello? Probably would have been a good time to use a haste spell before this battle, because it's a reasonable amount of Umber Hulks, but that's okay. Alright. Alright, now we've destroyed the barrier, we can go to the final level. First, though, we need to go to the temple level, head back home, level up quite a bit, and get some, proceed with our shenanigans. Vala gets a fighter level. Fighter levels for them, cleric level, and magic user and thief level. Alright. Now, make sure that I didn't overflow anybody's experience. Doesn't look like it. Okay, we're good. Before I do any of that, I want to go ahead and go to the vault. So, Vala has some pretty awesome equipment, including this silver shield +3. Silver shields are special because they count as silver mirrors as well as shields, so they reflect gazes of some creatures like basilisks and Medusa, which we'll be fighting in abundance. Unfortunately, only she's protected by it, but if we deposit it, we can then take it with another character. So we've stolen her silver shield. That's what you do with NPCs, right? Don't worry, we'll be giving it back to her in a minute. I just need to make sure somebody else has it at the moment. Now we're going to go back into the Hall of Training and save the game, remove Glory Seeker, and add a new character to the party, A. I forgot to make a different named one. Right now his name is just A. A is a very important character. He is my baggage character. He's going to hold some stuff for me. Like this awesome banded mail +5, the silver shield +3, this girdle of cloud giant strength, and this cloak. So hold all that stuff for me, A, would you please? Let's see, that's all I need to give right now, right? Because I don't have the boots. Cloak, girdle, shield. Okay, that should be it. Now we remove him from the party, we overwrite A, and now let's get rid of the party. I'm tired of playing. Dropping the full party allows you to instantly quit to the main beginning screen, so I can load up A now. I remove Glory Seeker from the party again, add A back into the party, and look, A has this awesome equipment for us. Give this banded mail to Quester, silver shield to Quester, girdle, and cloak to Questling, because Quester already has one. And now, look, he still has this stuff, because we didn't save the game after we dropped it to him. Actually, whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself now. You need to trade that silver shield back to Quest Lord. I gave it to Vala instead. Well, that's okay, it'll just slow me down slightly. I need to remove A from the party, save the game again, B, add A back into the party, trade the banded mail to A, the cloak and girdle to A, and the silver shield to A again. And a cloak. And another cloak. That's almost enough cloaks. I could have had enough if I'd remembered to do it before. Okay, A has all of this. Now remove him from the party. Now we drop the party again. Look at all of this stuff he has for us. He's so kind giving us all of these. Okay, I only need to do one more of those. Add A back into the party. Let's see now. Slightly messed up in my location now with everything. But, okay, he just needs a shield. I need a couple more girdles, like one more banded mail, one more cloak. Do that to Vala. Okay, he needs his silver shield +3. Still. Alright, that's for... Okay, I need actually one more girdle. I think I actually need one more banded mail as well. And 2 more silver shields. If you don't overwrite your character. You can theoretically do it that way, yes, but that also gets pretty clumsy with things. Alright, now one of these band mails goes to Vala. Oh, does Vala have a girdle? I think I need to do one more girdle, actually. That's right, she does not. Okay. This is good. Indeed. Okay. I'm a bit thrown off somewhere along the line of remembering what I had, but now I should have everything. She has a couple of things that'll go to Glory Seeker, including the cloak. Alright, Silver Shield, Cloak, and Girdle will now go to Glory Seeker. And now we are all just going to be armed with all this stuff going forward. Once he gets a little bit better bracers, he will be even stronger and a better... Oh, he has a shield +2 on. Nope, he is this good. Once we get that on instead. Okay. One more better bracer, and he's going to be at 11 like everybody else. Now we can begin adventuring. Memorize our spells. All right. They do indeed. All right. Now that we are all adorned with silver shields, we can deal with the next threat very easily. We can go back to the mines, through the temple. And now I actually just go to the bottom level, B, which is level 10, since they Don't really have a letter for that. They could use 0, I guess, but they decided not to. And, let's see. Let's make sure you don't have a necklace on. Okay. Nothing but those. Alright. And we're just going to... Oh, quick combat here. Now, I do need to actually be saving it because cockatrices can turn me to stone. Because cockatrices turn to stone by touch. But we're immune to the basilisks and the Medusa, and oftentimes they will turn themselves to stone, which is very convenient. I believe Medusa can also poison because they attack by biting with the serpents on their hair. Very low chance of that happening, but it's still good to safety save because of all the stupid instant kill mechanics in this game. It's one of the things that is actually second edition because of armor class. -10 was supposed to be the minimum in first edition, but they allowed it to go below 10 in second edition, and because of how Thaco works instead. Because first edition D&D's 2-hit was just based on a chart, which in the end largely just worked the same way as Thaco. It's just that your extremes, like a low-level mage, would have a 26 to hit a -9 armor class because it they made it a curve, so it didn't get super absurd if you had enough pluses, but its effect was generally pretty much the same. Again, all of these centipedes can also bite and kill you, but they are very low-level monsters, and the odds are low. But hey, you know, that's the kind of thing that happens in a marathon run. Now, unfortunately, we can't afford to try and use ranged weapons for these fights because they have actually a surprisingly long range with those gazes, and they will hit people in the back as often. So it's easiest just to pull through these. I could perhaps use some spells or some of my items to try and clear out the groups, but this is still reasonably good. Unearthed Arcana had a lot of things that were really crazy. Oh, I took a blow from the basilisk. Alright, these giant spiders tend to kill me with breath weapons more than anything. Nice when they turn themselves to stone because it also eliminates the rest of their turn. Because the gazes are very slow, and the longer they last, the more they get to do the gazes. Alright, I can keep the shield on, luckily, and still use wands, like the Wand of Ice Storm. I did forget to go get a few other things for my party, but I can do that later. Darn. I can only do that. I'm still not close enough. Just gonna abort the spell. That would do 2 damage to too many of my characters. Not save that much. Alright, that's excellent. Yep. The intricacies and depths of D&D and how many things it has allows you to create so many different theory-crafted super characters. Barbarians running for 3 days straight and stuff. Sadly, in the computerized role-playing games, the most OP you get is just basically getting a huge party of... is getting a whole lot of dust of disappearance and being completely invincible. Unfortunately, we can't do that in this game. It would make the speed run a little bit faster, but we take what we can get. Silver shields +3 are good enough, for now at least. Save game. Let's see. Yes, Wand of Lightning. Thank you for lining up in a straight line. Getting silver mirrors instead, which is just inconvenient. It does the same thing, but you just have less armor class to deal with when you do it. I'm gonna go ahead and cast haste before this big fight. Indeed. That's a good fireball. And a lot of bad saving throws, which is good. Of course, the Margoyles have low enough hit points, and the Medusa as well, but they die anyway. Almost a waste of a haste spell that went so fast. Alright, now we enter the dungeon, where we get to deal with this madman and all his riddles, some of which may be familiar to those who played the previous game. First, we get into another kind of dangerous fight, and the last time we have to worry about Medusa for a little while at least. Driders are all casters, which is very inconvenient. That one is casting even now. Oh, he's immune to light. Or he actually has magic resistance. Usually they don't. Okay, nothing on them. Okay, this is the fight where we get good stuff. All of these casters, so annoying. I'm not sure which wand is my Wand of Ice Storm, which is convenient. I think it's the second. Time to take a gamble. Good call by me. Alright, now we have here a fine longbow, which Gloryhound is going to take. And then Gloryhound's going to give his bow to Vala. Fine Longbow is a very special bow that allows you to add your strength stat to the damage that you deal with bows, which you normally don't get to do. So having these enormous strengths and the plus 11 damage I get for having a 23 strength means I get to attack twice around at long range with a bow that does anywhere from 13 to 19 damage. As you might imagine, this is pretty nice. Nobody can level up, surprising. I need to make sure to memorize some items, however, and buy some more arrows. Vala is going to buy a bunch of arrows. I'm going to go ahead and have Gloryhound buy some more arrows. Wrestling buy some more arrows as well, just for her. Okay, that should be enough arrows for everybody. And she's going to be moved to the back of the group so she can shoot for quite a while, because that's the easiest way to deal with her. Have her contribute to the group for now. Don't really need things identified, but it helps me know what I'm doing. Okay. These I want to know what they are so that extra healing is good. Alright, she should have enough arrows for the game. He will have enough arrows for the game. I don't need the Gauntlets of Ogre power. Alright. Don't need the Wand of Paralyzation. Why did my music stop again? For some reason this one seems to be randomly pausing. That's rather inconvenient. Back to the dungeon. I do have the well memorized where everything is. I mostly just memorize each time. So here's our first riddle. You feel it, you never saw it, you never will, is your heart. Congratulations to those who guessed it in 5 seconds. On to the next level. We're going to have a forced battle here. Amazingly, there are no random encounters in the dungeons. There are a couple of set encounters, like this one. Pyrohydras, which are just interesting. Oh, I need to put Vala in the back. Darn it. Forgot about that. Let's see. Now, Glory Hound can... quick. He will not use his bow in quick combat now. Alright. Alright, next riddle. You must keep it after giving it. What is it? Your word. Okay, third level, we have to go get our first here. No, not yet. That's not until later. Move. Couple of secret doors we have to go through. We're done with this level. Answer the next question. Light as a feather, but you can't hold it for 10 minutes. That is your breath. That is a optional dungeon to the left, which we're skipping because it's optional and we don't want to waste time with it. Okay, now we're going to get in a couple fights in this level, I think. Nope, I missed a level. Oh, yeah, here. Okay, so yes, this is where we go get our first key of these MacGuffins that are necessary that you may not even hear about. Umber Hulks again. I need to move Vala to the back so she can use her bow. Means less crowding up front. Let's just use your bow as well. Do not have the bow. Your bow. Oh, I didn't equip it because I still have a wand. Okay, there we go. Fusion didn't work. Very nice. And dead. And now we get a brass key. The raving madman laughs at us and says, "Oh dear, you found the key." He's gonna get angry and angry as time goes on. We don't really care. Not there. Here. Next riddle. One word. Has a mouth but does not speak. Has a bed but never sleeps. Is a river. These are first-class riddles. Alright, now we're on this level. I'm going to get in another fight, I believe, before I want to alter the order. Put Vala back in back. And I need to re-equip her bow, because for some reason, if they have a melee weapon, they will not switch to a bow. They will switch to a melee weapon if they're in melee, but they won't switch back to a bow afterwards. Kind of annoying. In the previous games, you could... Oh, Gloryhound is up front now, though. That's inconvenient. I need to move him. I thought there was something else I needed to do. I'd forgotten what it was. Been very lucky with gazes not bothering me this run. Okay, Glorious needs to go before Gloryhound so she can be up front with her mace, since there are almost no good staff slings and none worth picking up in this game. Next riddle. One word. Run smoother than any rhyme, loves to fall but cannot climb, is water. Raving Madman again, because all he does is rave. Yep. Okay, next level, I have to worry about the silver. Hey, we're done with this level already. One word, you break it even if you name it, is silence. Now we're going to get some good loot in this room in addition to the silver key that we need. Yeah, if you didn't have the guidebook, you had to figure these out on your own. Alright, we have some good items here, though. Another necklace of, yeah. There's the wand, I don't think it's anything. But the bracers are another point of armor class for him. Raving Madman is more mad at us, but we don't care. Alright, another riddle. It passes before the sun and makes no shadow. What is it? Wind? Could be a lot of things. Wind is the answer he accepts, though. Yeah, this is the door. This is a slightly maze-like level. Now we have to deal with this Sphinx. We give her money. Whoops. This is the only way to get her out of here, or attacking her, which is a little bit slower. It's very annoying. There are actually a couple of these in the dungeon, and they'll give you answers to the riddles and stuff, but they're a little bit on the out of the way, unnecessary for speedrun, of course. I'm gonna go ahead and use a quick little ice storm here. In a nice little group. Alright. Now this is a weird area where they give you weird messages. Which often makes you run into there, which is a double fight, very annoying. Some good items, but we really don't need them. You feed it, it lives. You give it something to drink, it dies. Fire. That's the only couple levels left. That's the last of our riddles, though. He's tired of it. So if you got all 8 riddles correct, congratulations. You win absolutely nothing because I have nothing to give you. Or great lightning spots. I cannot say when you get a nap, High Spirits. That is up to you. Now he screams at us, doing a bunch of damage. We attack the image and it makes him disappear, and now we don't have to deal with the madman anymore. Thank goodness. We have just one more level to deal with instead. There's a shortcut from the castle, the final dungeon, on this level, but unfortunately you can't, it's from, not to, so. Now we have to deal with more mages, quite annoying. Let's see. Oh, darn. I did need to do another one. Well. These other two are going to get their spells off, I think. Nasty lightning bolt. I never roll that well either with mine. That's why we try to interrupt them when we can. I don't know if Ice Storm will reach that far, but I hope so. No, it will not. That's unfortunate. But it will clear the ways by killing a lot of the Etnas so we can get there. Okay, done. Mages are so annoying. Almost as annoying as clerics. More guards. Much better. Alright, now we have to get the last key here. From purple worms. I should have saved before this battle because purple worms can one-shot you by swallowing you. Instant death. Instant death, so many instant death enemies in this game. Generally don't have to worry about them, but you run into them enough that oftentimes I need to get really better at doing safety saves because I've had a couple of runs go kind of rough because I forget them. Luckily they go down really fast. This is another reason to, let's see, nothing really good here. Take the gold key. It's random loot, I believe. Didn't look like anything particularly nice. A horde of monsters is charging us. We let them pass because they're running away from more of the purple worms, actually. .34 hit points on purple worms. They're big, big little beasties. Alright, now we enter the western crevices, which are a kind of annoying place. Now, we can run from random encounters, but they follow us, which is extremely annoying. Like so. Because now every step we take, we have to flee and turn back around. Some of them are worth fighting instead. Now, if I was to turn around, I would actually be able to run from them, but of course I wouldn't make any progress. Luckily, they will only follow me in this tunnel, and then they'll go away. There are certain spots where they leave and where I can get past them, like these corners here, essentially, if I can make any kind of a turn. Like right here. Now they're following me, but now they're gone. And they don't get in my way. Excellent, again. Very excellent. Now I have this whole place to go through. Alright, now we just keep going forward here. We keep going forward. Oh, we must have the Staff of Oswulf to continue. That's right. I actually forgot to go get the staff completed. That's an unusual thing. Thank you, Vala, for letting me know that. Let's see, what's the easiest way to get back? I'll need to find a teleporter, actually, which is a decent distance away. Oh, no, that's fine, actually. We can keep going, because there's a teleporter up ahead, I believe. A scream, much closer than before. We don't care about the scream. It's the Clerk of Flan. Whoops, I accidentally fought the monster, but that's okay. Oh yeah, he has Wands of Lightning. I want him to quit combat. I want everyone else to quit combat, but not him. And not mine. Wargs and griffins hanging about together. Good old first edition D&D, which, you know, didn't care about what kind of monsters get thrown at you, and that kind of seeped into JRPGs of all sorts. Wargs and griffins just, you know, hanging out as if it's normal. Always getting them in these long corridors. Alright, through that long corridor, that's it for the long, straight corridors. This is the longest one remaining. Of course I get an enemy here. Ah, good. Now I hit this corner, and I'm good. Any of them casting right now? Yes, that one is. Better kill him. Fireball is the only thing with range to reach from where I'm at. This'll do. Excellent. Humans are by far actually the more dangerous enemies in this game because they are high-level fighters, generally, or mages, with a lot of magic items, very low armor class and such. A lot more than most of the big monsters that you fight. I guess that's how they balance it, is big monsters have the chances to one-shot kill your characters, but otherwise, pretty meaningless. Now we have a double fight here. A bunch of frost giants. And their mammoth pets. The proportions of enemies in this game are, you know, interesting. Mammoths should be extremely huge, but everything is only either too tall, too wide, 1 square, or 4 squares. It protects you from most attacks. The things like, in first edition, things like instantly swallowing from purple worms and such have to happen a chance when they hit you in melee. So having the armor class does help. But, you know, if they hit, it's a very good chance of it suddenly happening. So, just something you have to deal with. And now the black circle attacks us. Now, the frost giants live in this glacier, and we've been melting the ice caps on them. Or the black circle has, but they believe that we're responsible. So they are attacking us, and now the black circle attacks afterwards, saying, thanks for getting rid of the guards. And so our next area we're going to enter is the frost giant village. And unfortunately, the frost giants are so angry, they believe that we're, with the rest of the humans... One human's just like every other, right? And so they're going to attack us a lot. We're going to have to fight our way through them. Eventually, we'll be able to convince them that our mission is peaceful, and they become a very convenient shuffle us through the dungeon instantly service. But for now, before that, we have to deal with a lot of giants. Before that, we have to go home and get our staff completed. Hilarious. Because we hit a corner, we don't have to worry about monsters following us. Very nice. It's kind of annoying having random encounters in this area, but it's much better than the previous games where most of the time you couldn't run away, you just got stuck in the fight. Teleporter to the north, thank goodness. We take that back here. Now we need to go back to the temple, so that we can get the Staff of Oswulf completed, because we grabbed all the pieces, but amazingly I forgot to get it built first. But that's okay. We can do that right here. Oh yeah, I need to go through the secret door right here first. And at the end of this hall. Paula and the dwarf talk a lot. Now he repairs the staff for us. We are now Silver Blades. We gain experience. I wonder if that's some of the experience I forgot to get before. Now we can go home and level up as well, which we desperately need to do. Oh, I don't want to go into the mines. Back to the teleporter. Luckily, the temple teleporter is really close to the town teleporter. We'll go ahead and learn Cold. Now, I believe that some of our characters, yes, they actually are 1 experience point away from leveling again. So we're going to take advantage of that here as well. Now I get the heal spell, which allows me to heal up somebody to almost full. Heal is impossible to heal you to full. It can heal less than a Cure Light Wounds, but what it does is it sets you at 1 to 4 hit points less than your maximum. You roll a d4 and you have that many hit points less than your maximum after you cast it. So it can heal over 100 hit points, which is great. Oh no, monster's attacked. Whatever will I do? I got 401 experience, and now I can level again. Just the way this game works, it doesn't let you gain multiple levels at once, and it reduces your experience points to the maximum available for that level if you go over. So now I get another level on everybody, and these are very important levels, because I'm almost high enough level to get 2 attacks per round with my fighters. Back to the Ice Giant Village. Voila. And now we have to fight a lot of frost giants. I call them Ice Giants to Frost Giants. You can't really talk to them. You can try, but it does no good. So you have to just really attack, attack, attack. Fireballs will help whittle them down a bit. They do equal evil. Although it is, you know, they can be friendly ones since we're, you know, we're fighting evil and evil. They're just living their lives, so slaughtering them all is theoretically part of the good person's creed in D&D, whatever. We're not going to get into alignment stuff, though. Regardless, they're enemies we have to fight here. We have to fight about a dozen frost giants to get through this. Dozen groups of frost giants. Luckily, we have a ranger who gets to add his level to damage he deals to giants, and a fighter wielding the longsword of giants, which does double damage to giants. So with our enormous strengths, then we pretty much one-shot giants with those two characters. Let's go ahead and do another missile since he started out quick enough. We've got enough people there. Have to bash our way through. They're tossing rocks at us, which is inconvenient. Have to bash our way through so many doors. This is actually a fortress you're fighting through, too. You find so many hideouts and castles where the defenses are pretty lousy, and there only seem to be like one group of guards. But no, this place is well defended. They've got all of these tunnels of places with parapets above where they can toss rocks down on you, and these fortified doors you need enormous 23 strength to bash through like we have. And so because we're wearing girdles of Cloud Giant strength, by the way, we have 23 strength, which is higher than the 21 of Frost Giant. So we are stronger than them and just cleave them to pieces. But they're worth a lot of experience, probably because of being immune to ice. That added a lot of experience in first edition's formulas. Finally made it through those. Now we have a couple more fights. And then the fight with the Black Circle on behalf of the Frost Giants. Yes, this is the game with Lich plus Storm Giants at the end, which is another one of those not paying a lot of attention to D&D lore, because Storm Giants are supposed to be the one race of guaranteed good giants, but you have to fight hordes of them, and they all throw enormously powerful lightning bolts, and they're very painful, and I really wish I had Dusted Disappearance for this game. But we have to just grin and bear it. Oh, we're done. Okay. Nope, Storm Giants are more powerful than Cloud Giants by a pretty wide margin. They have more strength. They have a 24 strength. They have a lot more hit points. They throw lightning bolts innately instead of just hurling boulders. They're immune to electricity and have several more hit dice and saving throws. Ah, hooray for the AI of quick combat. Thank you, Vala. Good fight that went longer than it should have because of weird pathing. Okay, this should be the last fight against Frost Giants unless we get random encounters that can't be run from. Titans are more powerful than Storm Giants. Titans are the most powerful giant race, or semi-giant race in D&D. Let's see, in first edition AD&D, I should say. Well, good enough. I got a bounce, so that was pretty good. Alright, that fight is done. That should be it for Frost Giants, we hope. Well, not quite. There is another encounter with Frost Giants coming up. Alright, cast our haste spell. Cast our bless and our prayers. Storm Giant King, we talk, we agree to help. And so now we just deal with 2 more battles, and then we get a bunch of treasure, and this entire area is super easy for us to cross through and save. You just do nothing. They're all being cleaved to bits, so... Now Black Circle Mages and Fighters. Alright, my last Necklace of Missiles. Get all 3 mages. Which means none of them can cast this round, which is good. Whoops, I still want to kill one. Oh well. Alright, and now we get the treasure from the giants. Is it anything good? +4 and everything, and 3 extra healing potions, which could be nice. Quest Lord, take those. And, yeah, why not take those, just for the heck of it. Oh, I don't need the plate mail, actually, but the, yeah, I've got to get better before I need it. We want to go to the dungeon first, so we can go back home and train up a couple of our guys' levels again. And then when we come back, they will just immediately escort us through the town to the other side. So very, very nice. Level 11 magic user, my last magic user level. Let's learn that, it's kind of nice. And level 13 cleric, which means I get another heal spell, which is going to be nice for having to deal with this. Hilarious, you only get heal and harm as your 6th level spells. Stop talking to me, Mayor. Okay. Now we only have 2 areas left in the game. The eastern crevices, which are long and super annoying, and the castle, which is short and super annoying. But not as annoying as the eastern crevices. They take us east into the crevice. We find all sorts of monsters frozen in the ice. Very, very not nice. And now a cloud giant convinces these frost giants that we're the bad guys and attacks us. Very inconvenient. Harm is also stupidly powerful if it goes off. Yes, it reduces the enemy to 1 to 4 hit points. So, almost a one-shot ability. Of course, considering that you can paralyze with hold spells and it does pretty much the same thing, it's not that great in the video games. Well done. Alright. Now I need to save often because I'm going to have to quit and reload if I get bad fights. because I can no longer run from encounters in any way, shape, or form, and some of them don't matter, they're easy. Some of them, however, are long and tedious, like castle guards. Interestingly, there are other things that could happen in place of random encounters, such as the ice growing around us or other such things that don't really matter. Remoras monsters are pretty easy. They go down quick. Remoras are some of my favorite monsters in D&D. They're just huge buller worms, as they're called. They're immune to ice and cold because they have a big fire burning in their belly. They can also swallow to instant kill, but they're pretty weak in this edition. Ice runs around you, small earthquake, yeah, you know. There's one more teleporter we could go to in the Eastern Crevices, but it's a waste of time to go there. We need to kill these fighters. This is a set battle. This is a very annoying set battle, too. But I can hit all three mages there, so they won't be able to cast this turn. Because of how they're a raid, I can't use bows on them. It might be better, actually, to not advance, perhaps, but... Excellent. Let's use a Wand of Ice Storm this time. Yeah, they did get close enough together. Good, good. This is why I don't want random encounters with fighters, because they'll all pretty much take this long. Okay. That doesn't happen very often. The ice grows around you. It does have a chance of damaging you, I guess. That's never happened before either. Awesome. That's two random occurrences that haven't happened before. Castle Guards happens a lot, though, unfortunately. And it looks like we've, once again, why on earth is this pausing all the time? Monsters attack. Hydras are not bad. Two Hydras, they go down real fast. You're not even going to do anything. Thank you for the info, useless info, Vala. Nothing like having an NPC in the party that reminds you if you've forgotten to do something important in the speedrun, like assemble the Staff of Oswulf 2. That's pretty nice. This is an annoying fight as well, but... I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I'm not sure when I last saved. Very weak. Well done. I need to put her bow back on. Binder 2. It's one of the annoying things about this game compared to the previous ones, which Curse of the Azure Bonds and Pool of Radiance both tended to favor bows over melee, but in this game they always favor melee unless you have a bow on them, which is just annoying. When with both, because Vala as an archer is extremely useful, but if she's ever forced into melee, suddenly she forgets all about it. Come across dead frost giants. Well, how interesting. Not doing too bad for encounters so far, though. I say that, then I get that one. Getting a little bit too long. Whereas burst through the tunnel ahead and attack, that's fine. Very easy. Okay, now more dead frost giants. Oh, wrong tunnel. Almost forgot which one I was at. There are a couple of these. Monsters attack. My last save would actually probably be closer. It's actually back, I think. Okay, now my RNG is getting absolutely off. Monsters and fighters. Just because otherwise I'm gonna be here forever. Seven fighters is annoying, but not very, very worth it. Bring out bad my luck spin, especially. White dragons attack, not too bad actually. Just two white dragons with 28 hit points each, 32 maybe. Remember, no, it should be. Yeah, it should be just 28. That was a lot of steps I managed. Okay, this is the set encounter. Kind of annoying one, but not too bad. Especially since I can one-shot dragons with my arrows. I was kind of afraid of that. That's a waste. Too bad. Stuck. Frost Breath for 7. That was so dangerous. Okay, that battle's done. Don't want to search on because I get more encounters. That's bad. Alright, now this is the one I go straight ahead. Red dragons. Ouch. Only hit Vala with it, though? Thank you. Vala's kind of hurt. Probably should go ahead and have Glorious cast a heal spell on Vala, get her back to over 100 hit points. This is the one I go straight ahead. Castle Guards are a no. I apologize for the melange of the intro music with the background music when I have to reload. Oh my word. I love those one-step encounters. We're almost through this the stupid western crevices though. And there are actually no random encounters in the final dungeon. Hallelujah. How many speedrun roleplay games do you get to say that about? So they're making up for it right here, right now. Hey, I made it more than 4 steps. I'm saving. Made another 4 steps. I can use some more, like, Hydra battles. Those are very fast and easy. Not Castle Guards. Yep, we cannot forget the games that, the D&D games that SSI made that followed the Gold Box games, the Dark Sun games. Those were very interesting tactical RPG games as well. Alright, double fight here. Ice Storm is actually pretty good. Yes, I killed the white dragons with Ice Storm. Welcome to 1st edition D&D, the incomplete edition. Now huge white dragons charge towards us. Quick breath weapon they got off was kind of bad, but oh well. More dead frost giants. We come across them everywhere. That's another one of the random things that you can find. Red dragons come flying down the corridor towards us. Out of my ice storm. That's unfortunate. What a bad lightning bolt. Thank goodness, 22 points to Glorious is not bad for a breath attack from them. Saved right before that. Convenient for me. If you think this is bad, try playing Pool of Darkness and seeing the monster groups you have to fight there. The final battles in Pools of Darkness are absolutely insane. Okay, this is actually where we cast our haste. Minor Globe Invulnerability is good to cast here. Glorious, give us our bless and prayer. Let's get some heals on some people just in case. Okay, that should be good enough. Cloud Giants come and see us, and these haste spells are really going to make this fight a lot better. The next fight mostly, because there's, again, a lot of mages we have to deal with in the back. The run is going decent. I've made a few mistakes I've never made before, the usual kind of stuff for a marathon. Luck has been moderate. There's been some really lucky things, some less lucky, but we're nearing the end here in a pretty good pace. We're about to enter the final dungeon. So, it's overall not bad. Alright. Okay, there's that fight then. That's it for mages, except for storm giants technically, I guess, and okay, so now the spirit of Oswulf was actually fighting off these guys, and he gives us his sword and shield, which is super convenient. So now what we're going to do is save the game, and we're going to really quickly multiply out this sword and shield to the entire party. Same way we did before. And then just one more shield. Okay, so the way it works is we give the items, we save the game, then we give the items to a character who's removed from the party. Characters who are not in the party or in the party pool are not affected by save game states. So anything I give to him, he will keep even if I load the game. So I give the items to A, and then I drop the party, so it takes me back to the beginning of the game and I can reload my save game, and I saved my game before I gave the items away, so I still have them. And now I can give them to other people instead. And so by doing that, you can multiply all the items. There's a couple of ways to do it in this game. You can also do it with the vault. But that's a little bit... That goes outside of the game entirely and could lead to New Game Plus type shenanigans, so I really don't do that. Now we just got a Glory Seeker. Okay, so Quest Lord, trade your... to him. Questling needs one, so go to Quester and trade your 2 to Questling. Alright, and trade your longsword and shield. Oh no, you need the shield. But you don't need the sword because you can't use swords. Alright, so silver shield plus 5. So now we're going to have negative 13 armor classes. And we need to go with not bows for this next couple of fights because we're going to be dealing with more Medusae. And we don't want to fight the Medusae. So we'll have to melee them. You can still use Wand of Lightning, perhaps. Okay. Now we enter the castle. And we get a random encounter turning up to the castle that we don't want. Okay, there's only one random encounter in the dungeon, in the final dungeon in the castle, and once you get it, you can't get any more, so, good, we're getting it out of the way. We attack the Medusa. She tries to get us to sign these papers that'll sign our life away, essentially. We don't want to do that, of course, so... Let's see, I am out of all of my items at the most inconvenient time, so... I need to damage a lot of these guys. I still have my haste on, which is nice. Good, I got that off first. So if you damage storm giants, they can't throw lightning bolts at you, same as before, so that's nice. Pretty low damage roll there. Okay, so that's our random encounter. Now we need to go... That's the first one. I need to go through this one. This is a kind of maze-like area. We wait, we get into a fight with some Medusae again. I don't want to use ranged items on them because... I don't want to get turned to stone because they will target my characters with ranged quite readily. They don't have an AI where they search out the ones who don't have ones. It's pretty random who they target, but of course the odds are good to get it, so we don't want that. So here's our last teleporter in the game, in 1:14. So we get one more level up, which will give us fighter level 13, which is very important because that'll give us 2 attacks per round instead of just 3 every 2 rounds. The Ranger doesn't, however, unfortunately. Poor Ranger. Level 12 Thief, which will help a little bit, but the way this run is going, I'm probably just going to get all the traps get on me anyway. Also, it allows me to memorize all my spells. I am. It might save him in the last couple of fights. Okay, and... Less... Prayer... A couple of Cure Serious Wounds and a Heal. That's right. Alright, back to... Whoops. Not where I'm going. Alright, now I need to go into this room, deal with more Medusae, so that I can get out of here. And Basilisks, of course, because why not? You just wait. I don't really need you to do anything. Oh, there's one left over there. Not anymore. Okay, now we pull this lever, which will allow us to leave this area. We wait, and this wall rotates us back into the main room. We go here and let this wall rotate us into the next room. Saving the game kind of out of habit, but I don't really need too much anymore. Not for a while. We go through this teleporter, which takes us to the next level. There are only 2 levels left in the game. Here's the middle level of the dungeon. Now we're going to see if our thief is going to be useful at all. Remove the trap. Glory Seeker has disabled the trap. Holy cow, he actually did it. Good job, Glory Seeker. That's 2 for 2. Not when I really needed it, but thank you, Glory Seeker, for doing your thief job. That is, again, one of the few areas where I actually need a thief, but it saves you some damage and stuff. And if it works right, or if I save, I was not supposed to come here. That's okay. I speak Steel Eye and the Iron Golems leave me alone. I don't know how you learn this password if you don't have a strategy guide or FAQ telling you about it. But all the Iron Golems on this level leave you alone if you say Steel Eye. This voice here tells you the password is Fool, which is wrong. It's still Steel Eye. A secret door there, through here. You find secret doors by searching, I know that. And now we are on to the final level. We have about 5 battles left, I believe. And we have to deal with a bunch of keys. The keys are not in any particular order or easy way to tell. It's horrible. We let the witch attack first. It's just an image. We bash our way through this, and if you try anything else, you take damage. It's just, there are a lot of weird traps in this place and things. Okay, here's our first key, which I believe is silver. I didn't write it down anywhere. Darn. I believe it's silver, gold, brass. I can read it. Yeah, silver. If you do it wrong, you get attacked by monsters. We want to avoid that, of course. Now we have to say that we are Oswulf. We totally have to lie, but there's no other way to get through this door than by telling the Lich that we are his brother Oswulfs. We're kind of coming in the name of Oswulf, so... I am not going to haste for this fight, because I'd rather haste for the next fight. It's a kind of dangerous one. Okay, let's see. There's only one... I hope she doesn't shoot me, but I really need to shoot some of these clerics in the back. Prevent them from... Alright. Cast my fireball. Okay, good. That totally failed. So we're not going to get any of those here. Alright, so we don't have to worry about this fight. It's... And we don't have any Medusa until the last battle in the game, so I can switch back to bows. Okay, and this one, I believe, is gold. Let me double check because I don't want to have to fight the monsters. Yes. And brass is the last one. Okay, here's a big fight. This is one of the harder fights left in the game. There are 4 fights left. Glory Seeker, cast haste. We want the haste for this fight. We want a bless and a prayer as well. Here's his primary guard, who's in +5 plate mail. It's one place in the game you can get that. He has another one of these girdles. Oh, I forgot there are a lot of Medusa here. Well. Better fireball them up. If I get stoned, I can just reload the fight, since I smartly saved before it. Okay. No need to worry about the Medusa. No need to worry about the clerics. We've got this fight in the bag. Haste again, doubling our attacks to 4 attacks per round. Makes this fight go pretty darn easy. Except for the poor ranger who only does 3, but... we don't need any of his stuff. Here's the gold, the brass key. Here's another fight with some Hydras, which is pretty silly. They're the largest Hydras you've ever seen. They're like, what is it, 24 head? Nope, 16 head. 16-headed Hydras. The graphics still looks like it only has like 6, maybe 7. But, because they, you know, old-time graphics. These are supposed to be enormous Hydras, but they die really fast and easy. Okay, here's the penultimate fight. The fight against the great and powerful Lich, and this is a horrid, horrid fight. I may need to reload this a couple of times. He is immune to magic, immune to ranged weapons, pretty much, or at least targeting magic. He is surrounded by these giants that also can cast lightning bolts. Clerics that can cast hold person. Not having any fireballs is pretty rough, because that's a lot less than I can damage. Play living, that's wonderful. We'll see how many people I lose. I can stand to lose 1 or 2 people, and it doesn't matter, because there's only one fight after this, and it's super easy. This is going very poorly to start with, though. Yeah, I'm just going to reload this fight. This is going not happy. This is far and away, appreciably, the hardest fight in the game. Which, you know, at least the fight against the final boss, who's not really the final boss, but we'll get into that, is supposed to be really, really tough. So, getting a surprise round would be... I need to not be on auto combat, actually, is the first thing. Taking out 2 there was nice. Jeez, 55 damage. Saves. Okay, all his hold monsters, well, all but one failed. That's okay. Made saving throw against Slay Living that time, which I always forget about Slay Living, but it is also pretty awful. Alright, well, we've actually taken most of them out. How many hit points do you have? 136. You can take a frost, an ice storm to damage them. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. We've got this now. You do nothing, actually. I don't want to switch you into melee yet. Although I need to anyway. Okay, now, we need to destroy his phylactery, though, for the Lich to die. If you know anything about Liches, they have a phylactery that is, that holds their soul. And even though we can kill the body, they can't be totally destroyed until we find and destroy the phylactery. And the phylactery is guarded, which is the final battle in the game. It's pretty easy battle, though, especially as long as I have my melee weapons out. We found a secret door to the north. Oh, amazing. Here's the Lich's room. An image appears and threatens us, but we explore the room, find the phylactery. Also find all of these iron golems and Medusae that were hiding in here. But that's okay. They're swift to deal with. We're immune to the Medusa Stone Gaze because we all have silver shields. The iron golems are kind of tough and they're immune to magic, but that's okay. We just melee them down. We still have the haste spell in effect as well. So we are just going to butcher them. Time is coming up here. As soon as we see the final cutscene, such as the cutscene is, you know, late 80s, early 90s era cutscenes, but We're about to see it. Battle is over. We get a lot of experience. The spirit of the brothers rise up and meet and return to the afterlife together, and that's it. Game over. So, that was time. And I can still play the game. That's pretty good runtime. Just under 240. Here's another teleporter. I lied before. This is the final teleporter. So I can use this to go back to town, and it's the game is finished. But you can still go and do stuff, except for do anything in town, because people are too busy partying. So we go back to town. The mayor tells us, "You have done all we wish that you would. You'll be heroes here forever. Join the celebration. Stay in town for as long as you'd like. The people will celebrate until you leave for your next adventure." And he is not joking. We can't do anything because everybody's busy celebrating. The building is empty. The shopkeeper and most of the townsmen are out dancing in the street. The building is empty. The training master and most of the townsmen are out dancing in the street. We can't even gain levels from all of the thing we did. The town is empty. The priests are out dancing in the street. We can't raise dead on any of our dead characters. Minotaur and Mermaid Pub, a wild party is going on. Drinks pour freely. You awake with an aching head in the mayor's house. That's the only place in town that has anybody in it, and they immediately get you so drunk you pass out. And that's the game. You can't do anything else with the town. You can go exploring, but you can't use any of the facilities in any way. So you can't identify items, you can't train, you can't heal up your characters if they get killed by something that you can't deal with. So that's it. But that's the game. Kind of a clumsy ending to it. Old games without, proper, you did it, victory screens and stuff. But that's it. That's Secret of the Silver Blades, the third game in the Gold Box series. I've now run all three in the past year. Full of Radiance for Questing for Glory 2. RPG Limit Break 2019. I ran Curse of the Azure Bonds, and here's the third. Next, I'll probably be moving on to the Dragonlance series here in the next couple of months. Working on some of David Tikiai's notes from that. Yes, the true secret of the Silver Blades is wild partying and revelry. Very good, Puexel. So that's it for me, so you can just take me out whenever. Thanks for watching, everyone, and continue to enjoy the last couple days of Questing for Glory. We have a genuine Quest for Glory up next.